Hello again, this is Tim Lloyd from GMAT.cz. We're part of Gain Access group of schools that provide unique test prep services. This question again is one of the more advanced topics. It's from Quant Topic 1 Part C, and it's in this case is connected to the topic of compound interest. Compound interest doesn't generally come in GMAT anywhere near average. It tends to be, mid to high 600s. Sometimes around 600, but this is definitely a more advanced type of compound interest question. Take your time, have a read of it, take a screenshot if you need to. I want to highlight in this particular question how important it is to focus on eliminating answer choices as you make calculations. It's something that people forget because very often we get so bogged down into picking numbers, doing the math, etc. So as we go through, don't forget, very quickly we'll get down to a 50-50 and then make a final choice. So this question, compound interest, here's the formula. It's a pretty basic one. And just to recap, as with all of the questions that we do from Sandeep Gupta, the legend from India, we assume you have regularly achieved higher than 600 in practice tests. So this type of formula where the amount after a principal has experienced compound interest maybe once or a number of times per year over a certain number of years, we just absolutely have to know these types of formulas, and we're taking it for granted that you do. Now, as previously mentioned, we will be focusing a little bit on elimination of answer choices. You can see that 2 of them involve 16, 2 of them involve 2, and 1 involves 1 over 16. I'm actually going to choose a principal of 1 as a unit, and this is a particularly easy question once you do that, because we know that the amount after all this interest has been added, however many times you want to add that, it's a 16 factor, so it's 16-fold, therefore A in this case is going to be 16. So we've chosen P is 1, A is 16. The next variable is the interest rate as a decimal, and as we all know, 8% is 0.08. Then we have to ask ourselves, how many times is that applied every year? It's 4 times because it's quarterly, so N equals 4. T is then the absolute only variable we're looking for, and the question labels T as X. So when we put all of those into the formula, the compound interest formula, we get the following. Now, of course, if you're coming from a business environment or a university environment where you use this formula regularly, this kind of question is a low-hanging fruit. You sing hallelujah, because for the number of points you're going to get for this on a GMAT, you can get perhaps for your own personal order of difficulty a much more complicated question. But here we have it, and you just put the numbers into this formula and then start doing a little bit of math. So let's unify or combine the fraction. We now have 4.08 divided by 4, lowest common denominator of 4, not too difficult. Let's simplify that because we're dividing that by 4, so 1.02 brackets, parenthesis, all raised to the power 4x. Now this, I guess, is where it begins to get a little bit more difficult, and we assume you have other skill sets, including exponents, radicals, and how to manipulate them. So let's go. So as you all know by now, GMAT is a test which applies rather intensive time pressure. So to save a bit of time, we can now eliminate some answer choices. On the left hand side we have 16, which is all well and good. However, 16 is not going to be in the answer because we have to consider the right hand side, which has been raised to the power of 4x. So to get our variable standing alone, our variable being x here, we're going to attack the exponential value of 4x by multiplying it by a quarter. Of course, whatever we do to the right hand side, we do to the left hand side. You can either immediately now eliminate E, answer choice, or not, because of course 16 raised to the power 1/4 is 2. So this now, surprisingly enough, is the final step. That's why it's not a super difficult question, this one, but of course it employs 3, 4, maybe 5 steps, and therefore, you know, you can calculate how difficult a GMAT question is, especially in problem solving, by the number of steps required to find a solution. So here we are. The answer choice is B. The 50-50 was very clear, B or D. Left hand side, right hand side. There are many tricks and tips to reaching a final choice as quickly as possible on GMAT, and that really is the name of the game. Become confident with the math or verbal theory, etc., etc. Apply it. Eliminate 4 answer choices or choose the correct one. Here the 50-50 was very easy to choose between, and that's why answer B was perhaps chosen within, say, 1.5 minutes if you know what you're doing. So thank you again for your attention. I hope this was useful. I'm sure that there may be a bit of feedback, as there has been on quite a few of these advanced questions recently. If you have any questions regarding this, any of the other videos, other questions, etc. on our YouTube channel, or posted on our social media, Pinterest, YouTube, whatever it may be, please click the link or contact us on the appropriate social media channels. Thank you very much. I'll see you very soon on the next video from the absolutely legendary Sandy Gupta, and of course there will be much more difficult questions coming, I promise you. Tim Lloyd in Prague, in the Czech Republic, in the heart of Europe. Thank you. See you soon.